نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا الله ذكرا كثيرا وسبحوه بكرة وأصيلا. هو الذي يصلي عليكم وملائكته ليخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور وكان بالمؤمنين رحيما. تحيتهم يوم يلقونه سلام وعد لهم أجرا كريما. يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا. وبشر المؤمنين بأن لهم من الله فضلا كبيرا ولا تطع الكافرين والمنافقين ودع أذاهم وتوكل على الله وكفى بالله وكيلا. Respectful my friends, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been mentioning some of the virtues of Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam and etiquette of honoring Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And in last week's tafseer, or the last tafseer that we had done, Allah ta'ala had mentioned with regards to the position of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as being Khatam al-Nabiyyin. That ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين وكان الله بكل شيء عليما. And we had covered that in a little detail with regards to وخاتم النبيين. Again in that verse as well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the status of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the fazilat of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Having mentioned this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then instructs us that when we are from the ummah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, and we are blessed that Allah ta'ala has created us from the ummah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala wasallam, and being in the ummah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam is a great ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the way the ba'asat of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam itself is a great ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what should you do? Allah ta'ala says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ ذِكْرًا كَثِيرًا وَسَبِّحُوهُ بُكْرَةً وَأَصِيلًا. That all you who have iman, اذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ ذِكْرًا كَثِيرًا, remember Allah in abundance. وَسَبِّحُوهُ, and glorify Him, بُكْرَةً وَأَصِيلًا, during the morning and evening. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructs us that we should remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dhikran kathira. As has been mentioned previously, there is no other ibadat for which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the word kathir but that of the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us to remember Him excessively, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made remembering Him easy as well. That other ibadat have various conditions to it, but the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free from any conditions. And it is for this reason that for other ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah ta'ala has allowed excuse for it, meaning an uzr, a valid reason for which a person may not be able to carry it out. Or if a person is unable to carry it out in its full form, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the leeway and leniency in performing it in an easier manner. This way, salah, for instance, if a person cannot stand, then a person can sit and perform salah. A person cannot fast in the month of Ramadan, then they can fast later on when they are fit and well. So for other ibadats, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created with it various conditions, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed for it excuse for it to be either delayed or postponed, or for it to be done in an easier manner. But when it comes to the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there no such ease or no excuse is accepted. And this is something that's in Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala mentions as well, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not accepted any excuse for that person who does not do the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because there is no reason why a person cannot do the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For other ibadat, as I mentioned, there is various conditions that applies to it. Hajj, for instance, it needs to be farz, and a person needs to be able to go to a specific place. And when a person is there, and specific days, specific makan and zaman, time and place, then only can a person's hajj be done. And if a person does not have access to that, then that person is excused from hajj. Person does not have the means to travel for hajj, he'll be excused. Person has the means but doesn't have the health to travel, he'll be excused. Person has the health and the means as well, but the roads are not secure, person will be excused. But when it comes to the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no excuse at all for a person not to be able to do the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A person may be in the state of janabat, and because of that they may not be able to perform their salah. They need to now have a ghusl. For the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is also not a requirement. Person is not in the state of wudu, in the state of hadath, that is an excuse that they need to make wudu. There is no water, or there is no soil, there is no possibility of any of the two. But for the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, none are needed. Time is not needed as well. To be in a specific place, like the masjid facing a specific direction, that is also not needed. Person can remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whilst they are in any condition, qa'iman wa qa'idan, whether they are standing, whether they are sitting, ala al-jam, or whether they are on the side. الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ. So whichever condition, you can be standing, you can remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can be lying down as well. You can be sitting as well, you can be walking as well, you can be driving as well, you can be cooking as well, you can be eating as well, you can be doing so many other things. And along with that you can be doing the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructs us that uzkurullah dhikran kathira. Person can't do it verbally, a person can do it internally. Person has put some restrictions on you that if you take the name of Allah, you will be killed. You can still remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala internally within the self and do the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within the heart. If the tongue is not doing the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, salat, you'll be caught performing salah and your life is at stretch. So the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something that there is no excuse for a person not to be able to do it. And how much dhikr Allah ta'ala wants us to do is uzkurullaha dhikran kathira, to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in abundance. That is how much we should be remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we are not doing any dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we are very far from this verse, because this verse is not saying to us uzkurullah, but it's saying dhikran kathira, excessive dhikr and remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On one occasion, two Bedouins came to Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam, from which one asked Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that who is the best of people? Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Man ta'ala umruhu wa hasuna amaluhu. That person who Allah Ta'ala has granted a long life, and along with that good deeds. So a long life with good deeds. What use is there having a long life if the deeds are not good? So that person is best of people who Allah Ta'ala has given a long life, but along with it, hasuna amaluhu, they've done good deeds as well. The other Bedouin said to Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that the rulings of deen are plentiful. Instruct me of something which is easy for me to do. That to do so many other things, along with the farais, the various sunan, nawafil, etc. These are a lot and very difficult. So instruct me something that I can do which is easy for me. Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned that la yazalu lisanaka ratban bi dhikrillah. That ensure that your tongue is always wet, meaning moist, in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because he asked that he wanted something to do which is easier to carry out. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, what? That your tongue should remain moist in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And elsewhere Nabi Karim Sallallahu mentions that Uzkurullah ta'ala, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until yakuluna majnoon. The people say that you are a madman. This person is a majnoon. That is how much he remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So from this verse as well as along with that also these various ahadith, and there are many other ahadith as well. When Nabi Karim mentions that there is no gathering or majlis in which the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not taken. The remembrance of Allah ta'ala does not take place, but it will become a means of regret for the people on the day of Qiyamah. Meaning any such gathering in which the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't taken place, the dhikr of Allah ta'ala does not take place, that moment, that gathering, that union, all of that will be a means of regret for people on the day of Qiyamah. Which means that no gathering of ours, no time of ours should pass in a way in which we have not remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we do not do the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Sayyid Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala mentions that I heard a dua of Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and since hearing that I have ensured to read it and I do not leave it at all. And in this dua Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this as well. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in this dua says, Allahumma ja'alni aktharu shukrak. Allah, make me one that excessively does your shukr, excessively shows gratitude to you. وَاتَّبِعْ نَصِيحَتَكَ, and one who follows your nasihat, your advice, and وَأُكْثِرُ ذِكْرَكَ. وَاتَّبِعْ نَصِيحَتَكَ وَأُكْثِرُ ذِكْرَكَ, and one who excessively does your dhikr as well. وَأَحْفَظُ وَصِيَّتَكَ, and one who maintains and protects your wasiyat. Four things the Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam makes dua from Allah Ta'ala in this dua. Along with that of excessively doing the shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked Allah Ta'ala, make me from those who does your dhikr, your remembrance excessively. So it just shows that for a believer, because Allah Ta'ala is addressing the believers, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, how important it is for a person to do dhikr kaseera. Every ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also a dhikr. Salat is also a dhikr. Reciting the Qur'an is also dhikr. So all of these, all ibadats of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So those are the most important things that we should be doing. And Allah Ta'ala says, وَسَبِّحُوهُ بُكْرَةً وَأَصِيلًا. So aside from this, the dhikr that we do in the form of salat and that, in general, there should be dhikr on our tongues all the time. And if there is no dhikr on the tongue, then there should always be the dhikr in the heart, meaning the consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as long as the consciousness of Allah ta'ala is there in the heart, that is continuous dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَسَبِّحُوهُ بُكْرَةً وَأَصِيلًا, and glorify Him morning and evening. And not only the dhikr, but from part of the dhikr is to do the tasbih of Allah ta'ala, to glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bukratan wa asila either refers towards encompassing the whole day, morning and evening, and throughout the day, or it will also refer to specifically in the morning and the evening. That during the morning and the evening, that's why you have the ma'amulat subha sham, for instance, those ma'amulat, those azkar that are for the morning and those which are for the evening. So that will be doing what? Glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the morning, in the evening. Further, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that هُوَ الَّذِي يُصَلِّي عَلَيْكُمْ وَمَلَائِكَتُهُ لِيُخْرِجَكُمْ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا. It is He who يُصَلِّي عَلَيْكُمْ showers mercy on you. وَمَلَائِكَتُهُ and so do His angels. لِيُخْرِجَكُمْ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ so that He may remove you from zulumat, meaning multitude of darkness, إِلَى النُّورِ into light. وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا and He is always most merciful towards the mu'mineen, towards the believers. Here the word yusalli, salat is mentioned here. Like you have in the Qur'an, إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَمَلَائِكَتُهُ يُصَلُّونَ عَلَى النَّبِيِّ. So here he says, هُوَ الَّذِي meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the word salat is directed towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it refers towards the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where in the Qur'an, إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَمَلَائِكَتُهُ يُصَلُّونَ عَلَى النَّبِيِّ. So it doesn't mean that they send salutations upon Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This will be send salutations upon Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The salat when ascribed towards Allah Ta'ala means the mercy of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So Allah Ta'ala is doing salat upon us means that Allah Ta'ala showers His mercy upon you. And the malaika, what is their salat? Their salat, whether it's for Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam or for believers, is seeking the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the believers. Or it is them praying for the forgiveness of a believer. That is the salat of the angels. And the salat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is He who showers His mercy upon you, and so do the angels, so that لِيُخْرِجَكُم مِّنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ so that He may remove you from multitude of darkness. Zulumati refers to as kufr, shirk, and bring you towards nur, meaning the light of Islam. And when a person comes into Islam, the effects of the mercy of Allah Ta'ala is that وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا, that Allah Ta'ala is always most merciful towards the believers. As on one occasion, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was traveling with the Sahaba, and there was a mother on the roadside and her child had wavered and moved onto the road. Seeing the caravan coming or seeing the horses coming, she quickly ran on and grabbed her child so that it should not be trampled. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam saw that and he said to the Sahaba, would such a mother ever throw her child in a fire or bring any harm upon? They said no. To which Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala loves His servant more than this mother, her child. And another occasion, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam saw that there was a prisoner, a female prisoner, and how she had embraced her child. And on that, that's what Nabi Kareem said to the Sahaba Kiram, would anybody envisage or imagine that such a mother would throw her child in the fire? So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is more merciful upon His servants than the mother is towards her child. But those who are punished are punished because of the wrong that they have done, despite the amount of respite that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala gives them. So وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is most merciful towards the believers. تَحِيَّتُهُمْ يَوْمَ يَلْقَوْنَهُ سَلَامٌ وَعَدَّ لَهُمْ أَجْرًا كَرِيمًا. And on the day when they, the believers, will meet Him, their greeting will be of salam. The greeting on the day of Qiyamah will be with salam. Salamun alaykum tibtum bima kuntum ta'malun. The greeting will be of the word salam, which we already have here. And Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, as وَعَدَّ لَهُمْ أَجْرًا كَرِيمًا, has prepared for them a generous reward. Here Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala mentions tahiyyatuhum, their greeting on the day يَلْقَوْنَهُ, they meet Him. What is referred to as يَلْقَوْنَهُ? Some Mufassirin mean that this refers towards the day of Qiyamah. Some say that it refers towards Jannah, entering Jannah. And others are of the opinion that it means at the time of death. Because when a person at the time of death is also when he meets with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So whether it is the day of Qiyamah, whether the time of death, the tahiyyah can be at all times as well. As in the riwayat it is mentioned, that when the angel of death comes to take the ruh of a believer, one of the first things that he mentioned is that your Rabb has conveyed salams, has sent His salams upon you. But because this is the occasion wherein now a person is going to meet with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whether it is at that time or whether it is on the day of Qiyamah or entering Jannat, all of these times, the tahiyyah, the greeting is on that day is going to be salam. And that is the greeting that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to mankind here, in this world as well. As in the riwayat it is mentioned, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam to go to the angels and hear from them what will be the tahiyyah, the greeting of your progeny. And Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam went to the angels and they did the salam upon him. So this is the greeting of the believers, which is Assalamu alaikum. And then you can have the wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh with it as well. So Assalamu alaikum meaning peace be upon an individual, which is what? Which is salam. Salam is what? A greeting of what? Of a dua in actual fact for a person. That is how unique our deen and religion is. That on all occasions it is what? The dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That when a person greets each other, when the angels greet a person as well, it will be with Assalamu alaikum. So how pure is our greeting as well? That when we meet, we do the salam. When we depart, we do the salam as well. So again, every aspect of our deen is what? The dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dua is the dhikr of Allah ta'ala as well. And every time you see a fellow Muslim brother, so what are you doing? You're doing dua for them. When you say Assalamu alaikum, you're making dua to them. That's why this is what we should adopt. All other forms of greetings and that have no value in it. You meet somebody, like Muslims do as well, hi. How are you doing? Hi, hello. These are greetings. Or you say to somebody, welcome. These are greetings. But they are just words of greeting. Whereas the salam is not just a greeting, but it is a dua as well. So each time you say to somebody, hello, you're just saying hello to them, isn't it? You're not making any dua for them. And in Islam, every time you meet somebody, you're giving the salam, which is actually making dua for a person. And when you depart from one another, you're not saying to them good night, or you're not saying goodbye, or see you later, or see you, or so. It's a case of you're doing the salam again. And by doing the salam, again you're making dua. So you meet making dua for that person, and you depart making dua. And the same with everything else. Instead of saying thank you, you're saying jazakallah. This is also a dua that a person makes. So we should also adopt the salam. It is very, very important. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions what? If you salam bainakum, it doesn't say do salam, but it says spread the salam, meaning that make it common. Common. Those who you know and those who you do not know. A believer should always be doing salam to one another, and that should become a norm amongst us. And it should become prevalent amongst us, that of doing salam. We should inculcate that, and especially within our homes as well. Rather than being a case of, when we meet, it's a case of hello and all those, and other words of Allah Hafiz, Khuda Hafiz. If you want to say Khuda Hafiz or Allah Hafiz or any such words, it should be accompanied with the salam itself. So instead of just saying to somebody that when you're departing, okay, Allah Hafiz, and going from that, it should be a case of saying Allah Hafiz is fine, fi amanillah, the same thing. But along with that, the salam should also be there as well as is the sunnah. Further, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions some qualities of Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam, that Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu, inna arsalnaka shahidan wa mubashiran wa nadhira wa da'iyan ila Allahi bi'idhnihi wa sirajan munira. Allah ta'ala mentions some qualities of Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam. And the first of these three are actually even in the Torah. Abdullah ibn Amr bin Asad ta'ala mentions that these are in the Torah as well. That even in the Torah, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has been described as being shahidan wa mubashiran wa nadhira. Allah ta'ala says that, O Nabi, we have certainly sent you as a witness. Shahidan, a witness. Mubashiran, carrier of good news. Wa nadhira, a warner. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has been sent as a witness. Meaning that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will bear testimony against the non-believers on the day of Qiyamah. that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam shahid, one tafsir is this. And an example of this is, as mentioned in the hadith as well, that on the day of Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will summon Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam. So Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam will be asked that, did you pass on the message and do the tabligh to your people? To which he said, yes, I had passed on the message to them. Allah ta'ala will then ask the people of Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, was the messenger sent to you? Did he propagate and did he give the message? They will turn around and say, no Nabi came to us. He did not propagate to us. Allah Ta'ala will ask Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam that what is your proof that you did? To which Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam will say, my proof is the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. That's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will summon this ummah. And ask this ummah that did Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam propagate to his ummah, to his nation? This ummah will give testimony. And again, the ummah of Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, they will reject it, that they were not even born when he was sent to us. So our time and their time is a big difference. So they didn't even exist, so how can they be proof? Again, this ummah will be asked, how are you proof to it? How do you know? To which this ummah will say, that our Nabi has told us. Our Nabi has told us. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam is summoned, and Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam will give testimony upon this. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا. Which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, that how Allah ta'ala has made this ummah, that this ummah will give testimony, will testify on behalf of the other ummah. And the Nabi will testify on behalf of this ummah as well. So this is how Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will be shahidan on the day of Qiyamah. And the other manner in which Nabi sallallahu is shahid is, the Nabi Kareem sallallahu will be shahid upon our own deeds. Because on a daily basis, one riwayat, another riwayat, weekly basis, our deeds, our good deeds and our bad deeds are shown and presented to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So when these deeds are presented to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is aware of our condition. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is aware of our deeds, our good deeds and our bad deeds. So when that is the case, that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam himself will be a shahid upon us on the day of Qiyamah, of the good that we have done and the bad that we have done. Mubashir means a carrier of good news, meaning to the believers. To the believers, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the carrier of good news, of that of Jannah, and that they will end in the Jannah. And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is wa nadhira. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a warner. Warner to those who do not have Iman. And the warning is with regard to the consequences of not bringing Iman. The Jahannam, the punishment of the fire of Jahannam, the anger and the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then وَدَاعِيًا إِلَى اللَّهِ بِإِذْنِهِ, and as a caller to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but how? بِإِذْنِهِ, with His command. This is another quality of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that he is a da'i. Da'i ilallah, caller towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And calling people towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot be achieved but through the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hence Allah ta'ala says, بِإِذْنِهِ, through the grace, through the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hence even in so many riwayat as well you find that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would not direct hidayat towards himself. On the occasion when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had distributed the spoils of Hunayn to those who newly came into Islam, and the extra spoils of war, and had not given to the Ansar at that time. And there were some from the Ansar, especially the younger generation from the Ansar, who had objected to this, who had disliked this, to whom Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had gathered them separately and addressed them separately. In that address, one of the things that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned to them is it not that you were misguided and Allah Ta'ala granted you hidayat through me? The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam even there did not say that you were granted hidayat through me, but it was a case of Allah Ta'ala granted you hidayat through me. And this is how a da'i sees it as well, that if a person is guided on the right path through the means of a person, it is not because of his own doing, it is only through bi'idhnihi, through the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he is a da'i ila Allah, and then he is sirajun munira. Siraj meaning, and munir, siraj means lantern, munira means illuminating lantern. Every lantern illuminates, but the fact that he says sirajun munira is to show emphasis with regard to it. The Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the one who lit up the world which was filled of darkness, the darkness of kufr and shirk. And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam became a lantern, meaning the light of iman. The Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam is sirajun munira, and this is within internal light that is there in the person's heart, which is the light of iman. And this sirajun munira is what was passed on to the Sahaba Kiram radiallahu ta'ala an, and they passed that on to others, the Tabi'in, they to the Tabi'in, and so on. This is something which is a continuity which has been passed on to us. The light of Iman, the light of Iman, which has been illuminated from Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam. So he was sent as Sirajun Munira. These are some of the qualities of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that Allah ta'ala mentions here. And then finally Allah mentions, وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ بِأَنَّ لَهُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ فَضْلًا كَبِيرًا. And وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, pass on to the mu'mineen, mean good tidings, good news, be for the believers with mu'mineen, and that is بِأَنَّ لَهُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ, that they will have a great bounty from their Rabb. So pass on to the mu'mineen the good news that they will have a great bounty from their Rabb, meaning Jannat. And this is for what? Because of them being, for they are the ummah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam. Because here the Bashir al-Mumineen refers to the ummah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi sallam. So Allah ta'ala says the barakat of that is بِأَنَّ لَهُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ فَضْلًا كَبِيرًا, that they will have a great bounty from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by being from the ummah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi sallam, bringing iman in Allah ta'ala and bring iman on Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi sallam. And the reward and the inam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what? Nothing but that of Jannah. And there is no bounty greater than that of Jannah. In these verses Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again mentions the various virtues of Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala sallam, instructing the ummah with regards to doing the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then further in the next verses Allah ta'ala mentions again, as previously there was mention of talaq and the marriage between Zayd bin Harith radiallahu ta'ala and Sayyidina Fatima bin Jahash, and then the subsequent nikah with Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Further Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions some rulings with regards to talaq, and then further again with nikah and talaq again. Allah ta'ala grant us all understanding. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ سُبْحَانَ رَبِّكَ رَبِّ الْعِزَّةِ عَمَّا يَصِفُونَ وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.